Okay guys, for this first video, we're going to go back to the basics, Spanish 1, Spanish 2. We're going to talk about verbs like gustar. So I want to let you know right off the bat, this is a huge pet peeve of mine. If you are in Spanish 4 or AP Spanish and you're still messing up gustar, it drives me crazy. So please make sure that you pay extra attention to this lesson. The first thing with gustar is that usually when we translate it into English, what we want to say is it means to like. If you want to say, I like dogs or I like cats, we usually think of gustar as like. I want you to get that out of your head. Just cut it from your brain. If you think in your mind of gustar meaning to like, then it messes up your whole sentence structure. What gustar actually means, if you literally translate it, is it means to please. And so you're not really saying, I like cats or I like dogs. You're saying, dogs are pleasing to me or cats are pleasing to me and kind of therefore I like them. But it doesn't literally translate to like. Just like encantar, we often think that it means to love if we're wanting to translate it literally, but it doesn't. And if you think of it as love, it's going to mess up your structure. So what it actually means is it means to enchant. So instead of saying I love dogs, you're actually saying dogs are enchanting to me or cats are enchanting to me. And that's kind of how you need to think about it in order to make the structure of your sentence right. Interesar is another verb like gustar. This one is not that confusing because we don't use it that much, but it means to interest. So if you want to say something's interesting to you, then you're going to use interesar. Okay, to set up your sentence structure for any verb like gustar, generally you have this at the beginning. You have a, and then you have your stressed object pronouns. So you have a mí with an accent, a ti, no accent, a él, a ella, a usted, a nosotros, a ellos, ellas, o ustedes. You could also have a mi abuela, a mis amigos, a Harry Potter, anybody here. After this, then you're going to have your indirect object pronoun. This part right here is not always necessary in your sentence. If you're really trying to emphasize who you're talking about, then you'll use these. But if we already know who you're talking about, then this isn't always necessary. You can skip this part. What you do have to use is you have to use this indirect object pronoun. So remember, the indirect object pronouns are me, te, le, nos, and les. And these are super, super important. You have to use this if you're using a verb like gustar. Okay, now comes our verb, gusta or gustan. You are pretty much always in Spanish class only going to have these two options. You're going to have singular gusta or plural gustan. You are not going to have gusto, gustamos, or gustas. You might out there in the real world, but it's very, very uncommon. You're probably just going to have the singular and the plural version because remember, this has nothing to do with this person. It has absolutely nothing to do with this person. How you conjugate the verb gustar, how you conjugate it depends on what comes after it. So this is what decides whether you're using gusta or gustan. Usually there's going to be one of two things that comes after a verb like gustar. It's going to be a verb or a noun. So if you have a verb here, let's say bailar. Me gusta bailar. We would think of it as I like to dance, but really what it means is dancing is pleasing to me. Okay, so your sentence structure is backwards. So that's why you got to think about it not as like. If you have a verb, it's always going to be gusta, it's always going to be singular. Verbs are never plural. Even if you use two verbs. So let's say we have bailar and comer. Me gusta bailar y comer. Even though I have two verbs, it's still going to be singular gusta, just because verbs are always singular. Now, if we have a noun, for example, el perro, me gusta el perro. El perro is singular, so gusta is going to be singular. The dog is pleasing to me. You should always have an article. If you're using a noun, you're going to always want to use an article with gustar. If I have something plural, so if I have los perros, me gustan los perros, because los perros is plural, so gustar has to be plural, gustan. And again, you want to make sure that you have your article. So this is what decides whether gustar is singular or plural. If you have a verb, it's going to be singular. If you have a singular noun, it's going to be singular. The only time it's going to be plural is if you have a plural noun. And remember, you want to think of this as backwards. So the dog is pleasing to me. The dogs are pleasing to me, because that's how you know which verb or which form of gustar you're using, and you don't want to mess it up. Okay, some things with gustar that you never, ever, ever want to do, because if you do, it will make me really sad. You never want to say yo gusto esquiar. Yo gusto means I please to ski. So this would mean I please to ski, which doesn't mean anything and it sounds really stupid. You never want to say this. Remember that you never want to have gusto gustamos, or anything like that. You're not going to use it. It's either going to be gusta or gustan. Okay, here another error. Ella le gusta correr. The big problem here, you have to say at the beginning of this. Remember that this whole part is not required unless you are really emphasizing who you're talking about. So I could just say le gusta correr if I already know who I'm talking about. If I already know I'm talking about her, I can just say le gusta correr. But if I'm really trying to emphasize who I'm talking about, I have to say and the person. This is necessary if you have this. Okay, here. A él le gusta el libro. Again, this is a problem because we have a noun here, and we always need to use an article before a noun. So, a él le gusta el libro. A mí me gusta los gatos. Obviously, los gatos is plural, and remember that's what decides what form of gustar we're using, so this needs to be plural. A mí me gustan los gatos. Cats are pleasing to me. Again, remember this part we don't have to say because I already know that I'm talking about myself. It's only if you want to emphasize who you're talking about. This is true. I do love cats. I have two cats. Their names are Dobby and Goji, and they're super cute. Okay, other things, you never want to say te gustas. Remember, gustar means to please, so te gustas means you please yourself. Nos gustamos means we please ourselves or we please each other. And that gets really weird really fast, so you never want to say anything like that. It's either going to be gusta or gustan. With any verb like gustar, it's either going to be singular or plural. Okay, so a little practice. Dobby likes birds. Again, Dobby is my cat, and he is super cute. So if I want to say Dobby likes birds, we're going to have Dobby, and then we're going to have le, because it's he or she, and then we're going to have gustan, plural, because pájaros is plural. Pájaros are birds. A Dobby le gustan, plural, los pájaros. If I already know that I'm talking about Dobby, I don't have to say this. But if I don't know that I'm talking about Dobby, then I want to include that. Okay, he loves to sing. A él, oops, we're doing love here. Le encanta cantar. Again, I don't have to have the él at the beginning unless I'm trying to emphasize, but I do have to have the le, and then encanta cantar. Cantar is a verb, which is singular, so encanta is going to be singular. Okay, finally, we are interested in Spanish class. A nosotros nos interesa la clase de español. Uh-oh. Okay. Hopefully that's true of all of us. Okay, again, remember, I don't have to say this a nosotros at the beginning because I already know I'm talking about nos, but if I want to emphasize, I can. I do have to include this. Nos interesa la clase de español. La clase de español is singular, so it doesn't matter who it interests at all. It only matters that this is singular or plural. A nosotros nos interesa la clase de español. And that should be it for verbs like gustar. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.